We've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on our giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, everybody. What is going on? It is July 29th, 2024. It's Monday. It's 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We are back from a one-week break. I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
I'm the Grip.
And this is the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast, not to be mistaken with somebody we just found on Twitch called the Drive-In Speakers. What is this mess, you guys? You missed the over 1,000 episodes of this we've already done, and you came up with that name? Come on. I thought that was funny. Jake just found that on his Twitch. He was just pulling that one up. But if you are just now tuning in for the first time, thanks for tuning in. We are going to be talking to you about movies this week. That's what we do. Just like those other guys. It's two guys that are big movie fans, film aficionados, former film workers, so all that fun stuff. But yeah, we're going to be telling you what's coming out in theaters this week. We're going to review a movie that was in theaters last week. I think we both caught Deadpool.
Yep.
Did you catch anything else?
Not this week. No, I watched one last week, and I talked to the
Over on Discord?
The Discord about it. Yeah, and why am I not remembering what that was? It was a new one. It was something everyone wanted us to watch.
Twisters.
There it is. That's why I can't remember it.
It was forgettable.
I mean, there wasn't too much there going on. I can talk about it a little later, but I gave the quick rundown in the Discord for all our members there since we were showless last week.
Well, but we're back. We are show full this week. We're going to be talking to you about Deadpool and Wolverine later in the program. But let's jump into the news. It's what we do. We talk about stuff that happened over the past 2 weeks. Jake, I see you got some piece of paper with a lot of stuff on it. I'm going to go close this door for sound and jump into the news. Let's do it.
Well, not to dive too much into all of the Comic-Con stuff, because that ended up being a large majority of everything in my feeds here over the weekend. But we got some interesting news, like the Keanu Reeves comic book, Berserker. The screenwriter the writer for it announced at Comic-Con that he has a first draft for the Berserker movie. And I just saw at the store the other day that there is a book following the Berserker character. His name's B. I've read the first volume of the first graphic novel.
I'm actually not familiar with
the comic books. It's kind of like a Emperor of Mankind from 40K type situation, okay. Or
and not to be mistaken with Berserk.
No.
Yeah.
There's a villain in DC Comics. He's like a caveman that got hit with a meteor, and he lives forever, and he's like lasted through all of these civilizations. You take that same character, except instead of being like a superhero or super villain, he's just this immortal dude who hopes to die and have it be done with, because he was brought by a ritual of this like shaman, this like priestess or whatever, to these cave people, and he's like bigger, smarter, stronger, invincible person that just lives through eternity, and so he's an agent for the U.S. government at the point of the time that the story takes place, because they've promised to help him find his way to like not live forever, kind of a thing.
Okay.
So, for some reason I can't remember the DC villain. He's a really big DC villain, but it's that same idea with like a little twist on it. But Keanu Reeves, it's like an idea of his. He wrote it, and the character is designed on him. So definitely going to be him playing this in the movie. If it's not, it would make zero sense because the character is completely based on him. But there's a first draft of that movie. Also weird comic book stuff. Mike Mignola said that the new Hellboy is the most accurate to his work.
But it looks so cheesed.
And a lot of people say that, and I think that's why he took the Comic-Con opportunity to be like, listen, this is the one that is the most like the comic books. Which is hard when people are already attached to like the Ron Perlman one where they're like, oh yeah, this is great. And then now this one doesn't look as good, or it doesn't look as fun, but he's like, oh, but this is the one that I like, So as the creator of it, that has to be difficult. But then again, you have like George Lucas, who's like, dude, prequels, and everyone's like, you suck, They're like, I'm gonna hold on to original Star Wars. What else we got here, man?
I mean, everybody wants to talk about Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom.
That's exactly what I looked at here.
Which
Marvel pivoting hard away from the Kang stuff. They're just like, no, Avengers 5 is going to be Doomsday.
What I don't understand is why pivot away from Kang. I know, but the guy that was playing him was very problematic. But then they're like, well, I guess there's no way to do Kang, so I guess we're going to do this. And then they just put
But at the same
time,
time,
Robert Downey Jr. in a role in the cinematic universe that he's already exists in.
So the thing though too is
sick of this shit.
With Ant-Man 3 being a movie that nobody watched but us to talk to people about. Kang is nothing in the movies, right? Mm-hmm. He's only something in the Loki show. In
the Secret Wars comics, I mean, like Kang's a big deal. Eventually,
Kang's big in Avengers, bigger than Doctor Doom, who's like Fantastic Four stuff. But I mean, Doctor Doom is Marvel Universe.
He's just recognizable IP.
But yeah, I mean, that's what everyone's worried about. Is like, is it going to be that he's just an evil Tony Stark from a different universe?
Which is more stupid. I think I hate that.
Is he going to be behind the mask the whole time and you're not going to see Robert Downey Jr.? It's just going to be a voice behind a mask.
All it is they know that casting him is going to get butts in seats. That's it. They don't care about what he's bringing to the role. They don't care if he's the right man for the job. They're like, oh my God, wouldn't it be hilarious if we got Iron Man back playing Dr. Doom? Everyone's going to lose their mind, and we're going to have a $300 million opening weekend, even if the movie sucks dick. And that's they know this, and it's. Oh man, it makes me so mad. It's like how half of the Deadpool Wolverine movie did a joke about Captain America. It's like, we know how funny that is, and now they're just leaning into it like seriously at this point. And now that they have timelines, then anything's possible. I'm just from a different timeline, and I don't know.
Well, and part of it too might be DC, before DC's really getting rolling, Marvel's able to take away Doomsday from them for their use too. But yeah, who knows, man? It might be okay. Fantastic Four has been confirmed for Avengers 5 and 6. So chances are that Doomsday might stretch into a second movie as well. Or Doctor Doom will stretch into more than one movie. I think it's a better choice than Kang, who was really boring and no one really knew anything about or cared about anyhow, because it wasn't the Kang from the comics.
No.
It wasn't anything like that. And if you didn't watch Loki, his little bit in Ant-Man, I mean, I didn't care about him at all in Ant-Man. He didn't seem like he had any kind of impact, and they beat him. And so at the end of the movie, they're like, oh, well, there's like thousands of more Kangs, and they're just like all a bunch of angry dudes, angry enough to smack women around. So, who cares? But, Marvel nerds or whatever, it's there. Before one other thing at Comic-Con for super nerds is that there's going to be a Star Trek movie, a streaming movie with Michelle Yeoh. Her,
Oh, that's going to be streaming?
yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
it's gonna be a streaming movie. The Section 31, like the secret arm of the Federation.
Federation, the dirty
Yeah.
workers.
Yeah, so there's gonna be that movie.
How do you feel about that? Because
I don't like
technically,
New Trek.
Section 31 goes against, a lot of principles of Trek.
I liked it in Deep Space Nine and Enterprise and stuff like that, where they're like, these guys are assholes, and anyone that finds out about them are like, screw these guys. But I don't watch New Trek, so I don't know how they've changed it or what they've done with it. I think it's one of those things. It's like it makes sense for it to be there, in something like that, for the Federation to be the ideal society and the ideological society that it is. They have to have things like that help keep people safe and the galaxy secured and all that stuff. So it makes sense, but I don't know how it was done in New Trek. I know that Michelle Yeoh's character is supposed to be like a mirror universe, like Empress Giorgio or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't watch New Trek. It's not my Star Trek kind of a thing. So anything outside, anything past Enterprise, I really don't care for. So, but it's going to happen. It's going to be there.
You
so
can't stop it.
if you want to watch Star Trek at home, like some people do, that Section 31 movie will be there at some point in time. What else we got here? We got to
A
learn
boys spinoff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be called Vault Rising, which I don't know if I'm okay with this. I didn't really like what was the V University V High School V. What was that one?
Generation V.
Generation V. Yeah, I didn't really get into that. This last season I watched. I was excited about it until it just kind of ended with a meh. And now I don't know if I want another a big spin-off of a pre.
Oh, this is the prequel that has Jensen Ackles and the
Aya Cash.
Yeah, the Nazi lady.
Yeah.
From season 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they tested well with audiences, and so let's make more of that. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a thing that people can watch if they want to.
Well, we got that announcement that Brendan Fraser is going to play Eisenhower.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was big talk in our Discord. So it seems like it was.
down
it's
for
something
that.
we've already talked about.
Down for
but
anything,
yeah.
Brendan Fraser.
Well, and it's in a movie. The movie's called Pressure, and it's about like a meteorologist, the chief meteorological officer in and around the D-Day time. But Brendan Fraser playing Eisenhower, that can be cool. I didn't realize the movie until I read about it this weekend. It was going to be about a meteorologist in World War II. But, these are the kinds of things that people don't think about. So that might end up being kind of interesting.
No joke.
We also got the trailer for A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie.
Yeah, with
old
old Chalamet.
Chalamet, yeah, who's not half as weird looking as
That's Bob Dylan. Yeah, no joke. So, okay, hot takes. Bob Dylan, you think he's one of the greatest lyricists of all time, or do you think he's just a rock and roll guy?
Not really my kind of music, so I don't really honestly have an opinion there. Yeah, I don't know. He's not rock and roll enough for me to.
I don't even like
really...
the Beatles.
Really?
And they're all right.
See, I don't get that.
I mean, I'm not like, whoa, There's very few bands in the world that I'm just like, whoa. And here's a hot take. Fuck the Eagles.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, if we're doing this.
That's wild.
I don't like the Eagles. I don't
know
like
about
Hotel
that.
California. I hate that song.
Is it because you've heard it too many times?
Yeah.
Dude, when I was a kid in Scouts,
I hate it.
There was one of the dads, he would always tell around the campfire, he would do a spoken word version of Hotel California, and it's like a really good campfire ghost story.
Would murder him in his sleep.
Dude, the Eagles were good, and they went on to have lots of good solo careers and stuff like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think the thing is for me though, like with music, I can't hyper fan on something because if I listen to too much of it, I start to hate it. I mean, I really enjoy Kiss, but I don't listen to it all the time because I think if I did, I would get tired of it and I wouldn't want to listen to it anymore. So these people that are just like always listening to the same bands over and over and over and over, I can't.
Wow.
And see, Mark Lander, he commented, and I got ahead of that one. I got ahead of the Kiss thing because they are
they're a kids band. All they sing about is sex. It's a kids band.
Such a kids band. But they're great showmen. I appreciate the show. Appreciate whatever, and their music's fun. But I don't sit around and listen to it all the time. In fact, I couldn't tell you the last time I was like, you know what I need to hear right now? Kiss.
Oh, really?
Unless it's like karaoke, and then I'll sing it. But I rarely go, I'm gonna play this now. I'm weird like that. I always like to listen to like new music or different music, and if I listen to the same thing twice in a week, I'm like, oh my god, I already heard this one. Can we not listen to this now? So yeah, it's some of these mega people. I'm like, oh god, who cares?
Well, so there's a Dylan movie coming out, but the thing about all of these music biopics that come out is that they're all so very far from the truth anymore. They strive to make it as entertaining as possible, even if those people's lives are already excessively entertaining, and they like to stray from the truth because it plays better on screen, such as the Bohemian Rhapsody movie that was so insanely far away from how reality happened, and they warped that timeline and had different events occur and all that just so that
maybe it was an alternate timeline, and that's okay because it just
that was Freddie Mercury in
Earth
number
19.
Yeah,
fucking timelines.
Also, some fun stuff though. Fall Guy and The Boy and the Heron have both got their streaming dates set, where it's not like a VOD type thing, but you can watch them with one of your subscription services.
Boy and the Heron was really good.
Yeah, Fall Guy will be coming to Peacock August 30th, and The Boy and the Heron will be on Max on September the 6th. And something else fun about Max and streaming is that now there's a Disney, Hulu, and Max bundle.
Of course there is.
Yeah, for $17 a month you can get Max.
That's actually not bad.
Disney and Hulu with ads. $30 a month if you want it without ads. But the thing on that is, if you like comic books, Max is where you got the DC. Hulu and Disney is where you got the Marvel. So you got DC and Marvel bundle right there on that. I have two of those three. I'm going to see what the difference
see if
is
I can
there.
whittle it down and get a third. Speaking of TV news, though, and Comic-Con news, there was an announcement. They released a new trailer.
So much hate for Max in the
for
comments.
the new season of Interview with the Vampire, AMC's Interview with the Vampire, which I finished season 2 not too long ago. It's fantastic. Season 3 is taking the Vampire Lestat book and running with it, which I cannot wait for because Lestat de Liancourt is like one of the coolest vampires ever. So yeah, there was a big trailer for that looked pretty freaking cool. The guy that they cast to play Lestat in the show is just like,
that was Tom Cruise in the movie.
That was Tom Cruise in the movie. So good. Missed the show name. Interview with a Vampire. Yeah. And there's a show based on the gay novel. Yeah, it's very gay. I mean, vampires are pretty gay. I don't know where you've been. But
not Vampire in Brooklyn.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
not Dracula Dead and Loving.
Pretty sure there was some gay going on there. I mean, when you're immortal that long, you're probably gonna tug on a pee or at least kiss a boy, you know, and be gay. Like it's whatever. You're gonna get bored. Gonna be like, hey, I've had vaginas. I don't know if that's a vampire voice. You're like, I try the pee, you know.
Sound like the ones in
but they're best friends.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, you know, and just like What We Do in the Shadows, Laszlo, he's just like, you know, just whatever, just go to town. You know what I mean? As Vince said, more fluid than for sure, totally fluid. And but that's what makes Interview with the Vampire so fun. Is it's just like, it's just sexy for sex sake. And Lestat is just like, yeah, man, you want to get at it? Let's go. I don't care what you are, who you are, where you came from. I'm immortal. I got what's that? What do I got to lose? He'll stick it in there, and the fangs.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see.
That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm excited for season 3. I loved the original film. It's one of my top vampire films of all time, and the first couple of books are really, really great if you're into vampire stuff. So yeah, Anne Rice did a good job. I don't know about this like the immortal universe they're trying to build with like the witch show. I never read the books on the witches, haven't watched the show yet, but I might check it out because if they're companions, then have I been reading fan fiction again? No.
Velvet Santa's fan fiction specific
about us that he posts in the Discord all the time. Yeah,
those are so weird.
Exactly. But yeah, anyway, all right. Well, do you have any more news, or we want to talk about what's coming out in theaters this week?
The only other news I have is about Deadpool Wolverine. We could talk about that now, or yeah, we'll go ahead and do it now.
Let's jump in.
Well, spoiler alert for some of the stuff later in the show. It's made all the dollars. It has made all the dollars.
As if we didn't know. What's stupid is everybody's like, the Marvel analysts are like, MCU's back, baby. It's it's making money. It's back. And I go,
no.
This made money.
It's made like $440+ million across the globe, right?
In its opening weekend.
It's the highest grossing rated R opening ever, beating out the original Deadpool movie.
Because apparently we love people talking about their wieners, and we love Hugh Jackman saying fuck.
Yeah, because it's made like 200 some odd million in the U.S. Original Deadpool had like 132 million. So this is now the top opening rated R ever. Hugh Jackman, every line Hugh Jackman says is just the word fuck, by the way.
Yep.
So there's your rated R right there. It is the top 8 opening movie ever. Right, so out of any movie to have ever been released, it is number 8 on the openings, and that has made it where in 2 days, it outgrossed the totals, the run totals of 6 other MCU movies, including Shang-Chi. That everyone's like, dude, Shang-Chi. Oh, dude,
that was a good one.
What Aquafina, bro? Yeah. Aquafina on a movie screen, dude.
Can't beat it.
So in 2 days, it's beat that one's total run gross, as well as 5 other MCU movies and like 20 some odd Marvel movies. So it's in 2 days beat like 27 other Marvel character movies. But that includes everything pre-MCU, stuff like Daredevil or the X-Men movies,
Blade, Elektra,
stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Movies that were referenced in this movie.
They're definitely leaning hard on this immediate runaway success of Deadpool to be like, look at this, we did this, we made this happen, look at what Disney did. But it's definitely that crossover crowd, I don't think is the ones that care or made this but they are definitely being like, dude, MCU, baby. And it's like, no.
Well, really, it was Fox.
Just because you hitched your trailer onto this one.
Yeah.
So the Deadpool numbers are being looked at super favorably for Disney and be like, MCU, dude. but it's definitely funny to think, especially with all of the meta lines and fourth wall breaks.
Which
in
the
Deadpool.
whole movie is
The whole
a
movie,
meta fourth
but just
wall break.
calling out Disney and multiverses and so, and we'll get into that in the review, I guess. But there's several lines of Ryan Reynolds being like, "This is Deadpool. Disney sucks. Fox can suck it. I'm the one that's making this happen. All the money made by this is from me." And they're like, "Look at us, dude." And it's like, well, in the movie, he's straight up is like, "Nah, man.
No, yeah, but we made the movie, so yeah, I don't know.
Lots of dollars.
All the dollars. Well, let's talk about what's coming out in theaters this week, and then we'll continue talking about Deadpool, which we have a review coming up. There aren't a lot of movies coming out in theaters this week, obviously, because they're wanting to give some of these movies room to breathe. But there are 2 movies coming out in theatrical wide release this week. One of them is for families with Zachary Levi. It is Harold and the Purple Crayon, which starring Zachary Levi. It's a I think maybe this is based on a kid's book or something.
That's what it looks like.
And it's adventurous Harold can make anything come to life by simply drawing it. After he grows up, draws himself off the book's pages and into the real world, he finds he doesn't know shit about the real world. And it's Zachary Levi making Zachary Levi faces at everything. And Zoe Deschanel being there and Jermaine Clement also being there.
And Lorel. Yeah,
Alfred Molina being there. And people going like, "Oh, look, you can draw a thing with a crayon. It comes to life. My kids are going to love it." It's not animated, so I don't think kids are going to want to see this because he's also not farting a bunch.
You don't know that.
It's not Minions. Actually, one of the funnier lines in Deadpool was like, "Who is your dialect coach? The Minions?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that's pretty funny." Goddamn, Ryan Reynolds. Like, every time I want to start hating you, you say some funny shit, and I'm like, all right, you're a funny guy. But that's coming out in theaters this week, and also we've talked about it a few times because I really want to see it because I really like Josh Hartnett, and it is the new M. Night Shyamalan jam called Trap, and it is about a father and his daughter. They're attending a pop concert in a stadium, only discovered that they're entered the center of a dark and sinister event. So Josh Hartnett is this serial killer that is in this arena, and I guess killing some folks. Josh Hartnett's great. I'd watch him in anything. Watching him be a bad guy. He usually doesn't take dark roles. He hasn't taken a dark role in a long time. He kind of stepped out of acting for a while when he had kids and didn't really want to, didn't like his schedule and the dad he was becoming when he was still working in show business, but now has been re-entering it now that they're a little bit older and all that stuff. So,
cool move for him.
Yeah, it's rated PG-13, which, M. Night Shyamalan's known for horror, but, I think this is going to be more of a suspense, a sort of thriller. And I think if Josh Hartnett is carrying the movie, sign me up, man. Let's see. Vince over on Twitch said something about Purple Crayon. I would watch Purple Crayon a million times over than If. I've never seen so little joy in a kid's movie.
Yeah, dude. If was not. It was dumb. There was nothing new. It was nothing fun. Super lame. And Ryan Reynolds was in that. How about it? Velvet Santa said something too. Want to see a U.S. agent movie where he drives a Geo, buys exclusively generic products from the grocery store. Isn't U.S. agent in one of the Disney Plus shows?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you get a lot of U.S. agent in that.
Vince on Twitch, he says, I had a discussion with someone recently about how the media training has taken all the personality from Ryan Reynolds. He seems like a robot that cracks jokes. Yes. Like, if you go back and you watch really old, like Van Wilder or Waiting era Ryan Reynolds, he's still very much that, but now he's just so rehearsed at it that it's like it feels like a reflex at this point. He's like blah 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 blah. But yeah, anyway, that's it. That's it. That's really all that's coming out in theaters this week. I mean, obviously we've got a big weekend coming up on August 9th with Borderlands and Cuckoo. But yeah, this is what we got right now. So
Trap looks fun.
Trap does look fun.
It actually does. I'm sure that Shyamalan has found a way to make it where at the end of the movie you're just like, really? this is stupid and I hate everything. But I'm sure leading up to that, from the trailer so far,
It'd be good.
it looks pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. So let's jump in to Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine, man. Wow. Directed by Sean Levy. If you guys don't know him, he did Free Guy, which also very a lot of experience with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they did that Adam Project Netflix movie or whatever it was together.
Yep, and he did some of Stranger Things. He's done a lot of TV, The Night at the Museum movies. Just been doing a lot of stuff, mainly for kids, which is interesting to see him doing a very hard R-rated Deadpool and Wolverine.
Is it though? Because
I mean,
everything that gives it an R rating is very childish.
very,
crap.
very, very childish. Yeah, I'll agree with that. This is reprising the roles of people that we've seen a million times. Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool, Hugh Jackman playing, Wolverine. A lot of cameos by comic book people that you see for 2 seconds. There's some, like, I was just going to say, like, Azazel pops up. You hadn't seen him in a X-Men movie since, like, I think X3. You see the Juggernaut with the weird dickhead helmet out of, like, X-Men 2, I think.
Yeah, one of the X-Men movies.
They throw in...
It's the Vinnie Jones style Juggernaut, but it's not him.
Yes, but it's not him. He's kind of an old man now. Sabretooth makes another appearance, looking very much like the old Sabretooth. Pyro returns, but not the same Pyro. There's some really, really good, pretty good cameos from characters returning that I thought was very tastefully done.
Some of them. There's a lot.
I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say it.
Don't give a story one away. Don't let us be those people.
I'm not gonna give this one away because that made me laugh out loud in the theater.
Yeah, well, I had read all the cameo sheet. I'd read it before I went in, but I also guessed a lot of it too. On the reveals.
Blade's in it. Wesley Snipes is Blade.
Right, that's fine,
and that's awesome. And because he's still got it.
Well, and I think
there'll never be another Blade.
I was about to say the best part of it is he's like, I'm the only one, and there'll never be another one. And then he looks right at the camera, which is notable because they screened this movie at Comic-Con, right, to an audience, and then every one of the cameos came out on stage.
Oh, shit.
Right, and the whole audience, and they're like, hey, thanks for watching Deadpool and all this stuff. But Marvel did all these reveals, all these things, and they didn't show anything about Blade, and no one talked about the Mahershala Ali Blade. They're just like, silent on that. And so, yeah, Wesley Snipes being like, I'm the only one that there's ever going to be. My guy, like,
and he did a great job with it. I thought that was, it didn't feel stale, it didn't feel forced. It was a good cameo but like
Hasselhoff Nick Fury would have been so good.
I think what Vince said, he said they heard they relied on cameos because there wasn't much plot. There wasn't much plot.
You're right, and for the plot that was there, you definitely feel like you should have probably watched Loki for any of it to have
any sort of merit.
Weight or merit to it. Now, do you have to watch it to know what's going on? No.
It's very just multiverse bullshit.
It's very simple. It's very laid out. There's not really much to understand. They go to a place called the Trash Heap when they get tasered. They're going to find their way out. There's a bad guy there, and then there's a monster that eats you if the bad guy doesn't like you. It's very simple. It's extremely simple. The majority of the movie is people being stabbed in the nutsack and the anus. Repeatedly.
For sure. A lot of that.
There's probably no less than 25 minutes of screen time of dicks and buttholes being stabbed.
Yep.
And they play it for...
And they stab each other's
obscene comedy.
Penis and buttholes. Yeah. They stab bad guys' penises and buttholes.
They stretch between two people whose penis and butthole have been stabbed and make it a very gimmicked cartoon event. Wolverine. Here's our R-rated podcast here. Wolverine's entire lines are, as mentioned in the comments, fuck and bub. He does not say much beyond that.
Which he doesn't in the comics either. So
the rest of it
pretty
is just,
comic accurate.
People's dicks and buttholes being stabbed. There's lots of blood, not a lot of plot. It is exactly what you expect it to be, and people like that.
There were people just losing their minds in the theater, like, So I don't normally like comedies, right? I find that they are just kind of boring to me. I think Deadpool is pretty funny as a character. I think that as a movie, it works because I don't like how serious some of these comic book movies try to be.
And by being a comedy, they can just sidestep all the plot holes that they put out in this movie. And
yes.
We're like, what?
And Deadpool breaks the fourth wall in the comic anyway, so that makes sense. Like, I feel like as a comic book movie, this really works. And it was a lot of fun because it wasn't trying to take itself seriously. It was people in comic book accurate costumes doing comic book accurate insane crap and making fun of the stuff that is not feasible or comic accurate and plot holes and stupid things that companies have done through this whole journey of comic book movies. I thought the in trailer vignette of like Hugh Jackman's 20-something years.
All of the Marvel movie. So it was clips of all of the cameos, behind the scenes footage of all the movies from all the cameos.
Man.
And that was pretty cool. And especially being like, wow, Hugh Jackman was very young.
He was young.
You know, and there was stuff if you're a comic fan.
I mean, Jennifer Garner, it was 21 years ago when her movie was out.
Yeah.
Like, these movies are old and they're reprising these roles. I mean, yeah.
There was fun parts of the movie, but a lot of it was cameo stuff. Specifically, all of the Wolverine multiverse cameos is like the one thing that I was kind of excited about. You got to see him from certain 80s and 90s plot lines and stories that I was very excited about. No one else in the movie theater seemed to be, because they were MCU people.
Well, and as Al said on Twitch, he was like, he was kind of surprised that this also kind of played like a swan song for the Fox hero movies. And if anything,
they lay that out because they say, give us our ending. They all know what they are, who they are, that they were unceremoniously canceled or let go, or their just scripts didn't happen, and they make sure to make it a point to let you know.
Also all the Fox hero movies, they were a little bit before their time. I mean, they were in a time they were doing things that were a little new that now Disney has turned into this weird science machine. And you look back and you're like, wow, it was more envelope pushing then than it is now, because back then it wasn't every week was a new comic book hero movie. It was like, oh my gosh, we're going to take a chance and make a movie off of this comic book.
I was there opening night for X-Men, and I remember what a big deal X-Men was, because we were like, we finally get one of those movies that you read the dream casting of in Wizard magazine. They're like, what if they made a movie? What if X-Men happened? Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and then whatever other cast they assigned at the time. But we're like, we finally get our movie. Was it the best thing ever? No, not at all.
But it was the first time they'd ever really done anything.
Were we
like
excited about it? Yeah, because we got to see Wolverine on a movie screen. We got to see Magneto. You got to see Professor X.
Got to see Beast.
Yeah, and you were just like, well, I didn't like it, but it was something.
At the time, it was pretty cool, though. I liked it at the time. I was also a kid.
Yeah, well, I was a kid that had read X-Men my entire life.
But yeah, I mean, this Deadpool movie, don't go into it thinking it's going to be anything more than a bunch of fart jokes and potty humor and violence. That's all it is. And it kind of works, you know, and it shows us that we all like watching people's dicks get stabbed and arms getting ripped off and ugly dogs licking people's mouths. And, like, that's really all it takes. And we've proven as a collective society that that's all Disney really needs to do is they don't necessarily need to think so hard about it.
Yeah.
Just do epic fan service and we'll be happy.
Yeah, and it's not an unenjoyable movie, but it definitely focuses heavily on cameos and fan service. So at the point in the movie, because the other Deadpool movies, you always have some sort of like emotional turn or weight to it. This one, not as much, because he's like, I gotta save my friends. But most of the movie's spent stabbing people in their buttholes, and you kind of lose that. And then when they bring it back at the end of the movie, and you have that like emotional core that's supposed to anchor all of it, and they have like their big moment at the end, and it's like the final thing. It doesn't really feel like a big deal at all, especially because any consequences there are you know that they're not going to remain, and that it doesn't really matter, that there's no gravity to the situation. And then of course they immediately undo it just to meet that expectation as well. So you know, there isn't really that gravity to this one at all, or anything to hold on to. It is just bloody buttholes and fuck bub.
Well, and I think Ryan Reynolds said it best before one of the 3 just very, very long and drawn out fights between him and Wolverine.
People are accustomed to long run time.
Well, that, and he looked at the camera and said, all right, nerds, get your special sock, because this is what you've been waiting for all this time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they know, you know, like I think Velvet Santa just said the mask reveal was totally worth it. It's like Hugh Jackman puts on a mask, you know, and it's like, oh, now we actually see a Wolverine on screen wearing the Wolverine mask, you know, and it's crazy that it was that big of a build up just to see that, you know. Cosplay people have been doing it for years, you know, but seeing Hugh Jackman do it, it's like gay, and everybody lost their mind, and you know, he's not wrong. And this was so many things in this movie were like, oh, we get to see this, we get to see that. And even if it's just for a brief moment, like there's other cameos that happen in this movie that are like, oh, well, they're cool. All right, we don't ever need to see that again, but we saw it for this moment. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Deadpool. We're gonna get another one of these. You know, we know we're gonna get another one of these because it opened up to $444 million worldwide.
Yeah, so, but it did also set itself up storyline and all the fourth wall breaks for this to not continue, and especially because it does. They do say they're like, stop with the multiverse thing, make all this end. It's too much, and this is only going to work because we're shitting on it at the same time. And then the best part is that all of Marvel's stuff at Comic-Con was like, multiverse is our excuse, you know. And now they're like, one of their most successful movies is like,
the
stop.
Multiverse is stupid.
We need to make this end. Stop doing this.
But these producers are never going to see that as like a clue to the success of this is because we want to see the end of this, not this is successful, we want to see more of it.
Right.
And they're going to go, well, we'll keep making more of it. Who's Deadpool going to be friends with now? Can we dig up some other like dream character that you know, do we need to get Robert Downey Jr. back as Iron Man and have him fight himself as Dr. Doom with Deadpool, and they can just mouth at each other because they're both sarcastic mouths? And guess what? We'll put Spider-Man in there and do all 3 Spider-Mans again, like the meme, and it'll be Deadpool meme, Spider-Man meme, Robert Downey Jr. meme, $200 million, baby, let's go.
Yeah.
See, I just wrote that movie.
Al says, just throw Deadpool in the Avengers. That's one of the plot holes in this movie, is it shows that there is an Earth where Deadpool's trying to be an Avenger, and then it immediately jumps to a different Earth where I guess that same thing happened 6 years prior, and then they never revisit the one, but they talk about it as if Earth whatever 616. I don't think it was that one because that's like the sacred timeline. But then when they go to Earth 10,003 or whatever, it's the same exact events with the same person, and that's one of the things they leave unexplained or unexplored or whatever. But I mean, it is exactly what you want it to be. But there might be a little too much of it. They might give you too much of the what you've been asking for and overdo it a little bit that makes it seem a little flat overall.
Well, there you go.
But you're gonna get what you asked for. So
We got what we asked for. It's fun. See it. It's a fun theater movie. If you're into any of this stuff, you'll like it. You'll have fun.
As long as you go to the right theater. Now, one thing,
bro, don't even get me started on my theater experience because I don't know which of our theater experiences was worse. I heard you didn't have air conditioning.
no AC, front speakers only.
Accidentally bought a 3D ticket.
Oh.
Yeah, I know what's worse.
I've been in that situation before where I'm like, oh, I'll get this ticket, and I didn't realize
And they
it was
hand
a
you
3D.
the glasses,
Yeah,
and
and I'm
like,
like, oh no, I don't need glasses. And they're like, yeah, you do.
I'm
You're
like,
going to 3D.
No.
Yeah.
Like the lady at the AMC, I'm there every week, and she saw the look in my face. I was like, oh no, it's 3D. And she goes, well, maybe we can figure out another theater gets you in. They're filling up pretty quick though. I was like, nah, I'll figure it out.
You can go to the one with no sound and no air conditioning.
Because it was actually in a bigger theater, and a lot of them were in some of the small theaters, and, I wasn't going to sit in no AC. But, yeah, I don't know what's worse, no AC or 3D is bad. Anyway, so Deadpool and Wolverine, you can check it out. I'm sure everybody will. Everybody has. It's a phenomenon. People are just constantly giving this thing money. We don't want to give away a lot of spoilers. There's a lot of fun cameos and a lot of cool stuff. So you can check it out, especially if you're a comic book fan. So there you have it. It'll be raking in money all next week and probably the week after as well. I don't know. Where are those popcorn buckets? I didn't see any of the
Dude, they sold out the minute the theater opened. These went faster than the D20, bro.
Yeah, I never saw anything about them at the theater. So, well, there you go. All right. Well, that was your movie review. Let's get into the box office roundup for this past week. It'll be July 26th through 28th, 2024. Jake is going to give you the top 10 movies in America. We'll throw out some worldwide numbers for some of these big boys, but we going to start with number 10, work our way to number 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, coming in at number 10, Ryan. What I don't know what that is. It sounds like it might be a fun foreign film. It opened to $453,000. And then at number 9, Fly Me to the Moon, dropping from the number 6 spot. $768,000 brought in by it. In its third week out, has grossed only $19 million. And then at number 8, The Fabulous Four, $1 million brought in by that one on its opening weekend. Another one, I don't know what that is.
I think that was like one of these ladies, these bridesmaids, college girlfriend reuniting. It wasn't in a lot of theaters.
Yeah. Was it 1,000 theaters? And then holding at number 7, Bad Boys Ride or Die, $1.3 million brought in by that one, and it's 2 months out, 8 weeks, $191.8 million for that one. I might get another Bad Boys. That might not be the worst thing. And then at number 6, A Quiet Place Day 1, still out there making money somehow, $3 million in its 5 weeks, $134 million. That's one of those that just no one's really talking about it, but I'm sure that some people are just trying to get caught up. Were we doing international numbers there?
I mean,
119 elsewhere in the world, so it has 254 million total. And then above it at number 5, Long Legs. That's brought in another nearly $7 million.
I don't know why it made so much money. That
Everyone
movie
will
was not
see
good.
it. The other day I went to watch Princess Mononoke with my cousin while I was standing there waiting for him to get to the theater. I saw probably 10 people that I knew, and every one of them was like, I'm going to watch Long Legs. I'm like, really? After everyone's talked about it already, you're still wanting to go see it? But that one, yeah, it's brought in $58.6 million so far, which for the studio that released it, I read, Green Acres or
something.
Green-
They're pumped.
It's their highest grossing film ever. And then at number 4, Inside Out 2. $8 million brought in by that one. In its 7 weeks out has brought in $613.7 in the U.S. Another $893 across the world. So $1.5 billion.
So much money
brought in by that one.
pulling our pockets inside out.
And then just above it at number 3, Despicable Me 4. $14.5 million in its 4th week out. $291 million in the U.S. 388 across the world. So it's made $670 million there.
That's a bunch.
And then Twisters, the sequel to Twister, dropping from the top spot for number 2, brought in $35 million this past week. In its 2 weeks, it's brought in $154 million. Another 66 elsewhere in the world for 220. Quick one on that. That movie's kind of just whatever. It's another plot hole of the movie. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now that it's been out for a couple weeks, the ending is crap. The whole movie is about a girl, or it starts out about a girl trying to stop tornadoes with diapers. And then her friends get killed because they don't do the math right. But she has like a sixth sense about like the weather. She can just go, tornado, and then so everyone wants her on their team, and her buddy's kind of like a bad guy because he's working with a real estate mogul to take property that's been ruined by tornadoes so they can make cheap houses, and he can just become a Oklahoma billionaire. And they take a chance to make fun of Arkansas in a movie about Oklahoma, which is horse shit. But the coolest character in the movie, Glenn Powell, he's the Arkansan. He doesn't have a ridiculous accent. He's not some dumb hick or whatever. Like he's a very intelligent meteorologist without a stupid accent. Even though he wears Wranglers and a cowboy hat constantly. But he's the cool one. But the ending of the movie is she goes to stop a tornado with diapers, and they state in the movie, we don't know how tornadoes form, we don't know how they dissipate, we just know that this happens, and then
They know that they piss their pants,
and then they
dude.
go away and they're gone. But she releases her diapers in there, and 5 minutes later, after a couple more dozen people are killed by this massive tornado and the whole town gets wrecked, it stops just before it kills another 200 people, and they go, you did it, you stopped the tornado. It's like, you said you don't know how they dissipate, and it lasted 5 minutes after she did her thing and she almost died. How do you know that she's the one that stopped it?
Yeah, maybe it just quit.
Yeah, maybe it just quit because you said yourself that in the tornadoes just quit. Anyhow, it's a dumb movie, but it's like action with a little bit of like some
diapers,
love triangle diaper shenanigans. It's dumb, but it's a theater movie. And then coming in at number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Speaking of dumb theater movies that are actually kind of fun.
$211 million in the U.S., crushing every other movie out there. Another 233 across the globe. $444.5 million opening weekend. So nearly $500 million in 2 or 3 days.
As Al Topich over on Twitch pointed out in the comments section, is like clearly the box office proves that people want and love sequels. 6 out of the 10 top 10 movies in America were sequels. It's kind of sad, but it's the reality. Like,
That's true. Bad Boys 4, Quiet Place 3, Inside Out 2, Despicable Me 4, Twisters 2, Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Well, and then number 11 was
Maxine, which is part 3.
Yeah.
And then if you keep going down, there's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And, it just, ugh. Yeah.
Whoa, Seven Samurai was in the theaters.
There was a 70th anniversary release. It was like still in like 11 theaters.
Dang, I wish we had one of those close to us. That would have been
badass.
4K Seven Samurai.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
You know that I would have been all about that. I want to see the ugly samurai dude in 4K. That would be so cool.
No, I don't want to see that in 4K.
He's my favorite one.
Well, all right, guys. Well, that's our show. Is there a watch along tonight? Is that tonight or is that next week?
I know Vince posted like a big old list of Discord.
Anyway, Vince over here coming up on Twitch says, "Hey guys, next Wednesday, August 7th at 7 will be our monthly watch along. It's going to be a movie that Vince hasn't even seen. He's going to be showing Dirty Dancing. I don't know how They must have put Baby in the Corner every time that movie was on. But kind of want to bring more people into the show. You can come see it on our server. It's crossover, but you can join us on our Discord server. Just go to driveinspeakerbox.com. I think the driveinspeakerbox.com will get you there too. But it has all of our stuff that you can like, subscribe, and follow wherever it is you want to get your podcast. If you want to watch the show live, we prefer Twitch. You can get in the comments. It's a lot of fun. But we also simulcast as a courtesy to Facebook and YouTube, so it's easier out there for everybody to kind of get involved. Like, share, subscribe. Don't subscribe to the speaker what was it? What were they? The speaker...
Drive-in speakers.
The drive-in speakers. Some competitors that just now started a Twitch channel, so they can go F off. It's a challenge. We're just going to go raid their challenge and not subscribe. And just like flex on them and spit on the ground and leave candy wrappers everywhere. Just get in there, Larry. And it's a funny clip from Curb Your Enthusiasm. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. I, of course, am your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
I'm Jake the Grit.
And we will we'll see you next week. Or we'll see you in the Discord like tomorrow. Whatever. Yeah, we'll see you.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.
Okay, guys. All right, now that the podcast has been recorded, clicked, it's encoding. We're gonna do a little post credits. You know, just like the MCU, man. We're gonna do some post credit content for you guys. Let me go bring it back over to the main cam. It does da 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 cha cha cha. A little post-credit shit about the sequel. Next week we will return, and we'll cuss right at the screen, and you're gonna laugh about it. One of our viewers, Velvet Santa. Actually, Velvet Santa, I've got a question for you. I had a friend drop off a whole bunch of VHS cassettes that you can record on. I know that you seem to record things constantly on VHS tapes. They were like, do you have any use for these? And I was like, I don't, but I think I know somebody who would. So if you want them, I will hold on to them for you next time you're up in Fayetteville, and I will bestow these 2 bags of recordable VHS cassettes that you can do with whatever you please. But the last time he was in town, he dropped off an enormous box. Oh, yep, he will take them all. Excellent. Perfect. I knew it. I knew it would be good. So he dropped off a whole box full of gift-wrapped things, and they're all labeled, too. So there's like this is week 2, so this is B2. This one looks like it was crossed out, so I'm assuming that this is J2. And
we missed last week.
No, well, this would be 2. We did 1 the last time because I got the Burbs and you got Point Break.
Yeah, I got Point Break. Yeah, I got it. Right
how
here.
many weeks are there? 6. There are 6 weeks. So yeah.
What is the it?
It has to be because there's no other 2s. It just jumps into.
I see.
J3 and B3, J4. So that's what it has to be. So, all right, I'm gonna open mine. Fuck yeah. Weekend in Bernie's 2, dude.
Oh, that's the good one.
That is the good one.
Because that's when he dances.
Electric Boogaloo, Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the comic sequel to the Smash original Weekend at Bernie's. Reunites Andrew McCarthy, Jonathan Silverman, and Terry Kaiser for a more slapstick fun in the sun. Video Express from Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where this one comes from.
Oh, how about it? Bam. And then there's Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh.
So the combo.
The combo. Look at that.
Yep.
Should do in 3.
So where he dies and then where he comes alive.
Through, like, Caribbean voodoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's great. With insurance investigator on their trails, the voodoo spell on their heads, and a beautiful islander at their side, Larry and Richard go for the gold and discover that sometimes you're better off dead. Vince says we should do 2 and 3 since there was no show last week. So how do you feel about that, Jake? Do we want to?
If you want us to.
Okay.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
All right. Let's go. We missed last week. There's your J3.
Okay.
And there's my B3. All right, here we go. What do I got? Oh, fuck yeah, Ghost Dad.
Oh, dude, Ghost Dad's such a
Yes.
good movie that you can't talk
That
about
you
it anymore.
cannot talk about because of Bill Cosby.
Dude.
Oh, man, when he comes through the phone and, like, cusses out that guy, or that scene in the bus where he's, like, just figuring out he's a ghost and his face, like, goes right towards that old lady's crotch. And he's
Doesn't
like,
he have like a
"No."
sick Saab turbo in that because he's like dentist and all that? Rambo 3.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I don't know which one was better. I like.
I mean,
how-
Ghost Dad doesn't blow anyone up with
That's true, but someone does probably get blown without consent on the set of Ghost Dad. But yeah, this on the cover, I don't know why it has a Sharpie that says Papa, but I guess it was for Papa. Not a very long movie. This was only 84 minutes. Bill Cosby, America's favorite dad in a spirited comedy. Heck yeah. Dude. All right. Well, thank you.
Rambo 3 is something that also doesn't age well because it's Rambo helping the Taliban. Because at the time, they weren't the Russians.
Yeah, some things age like fine cheese. But, all right, guys. Well,
Beelzebub said the same thing.
Yeah, teaming up with the Taliban. But, all right, guys, we're going to get out of here. The Taliban was the connecting theme of all
of movies that didn't age well, maybe.
Ah, gotcha. Weekend at Bernie's aged great, but
I think of these
two.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. We will see you guys next week. Thanks again, Velvet Santa, for the gifts. These are always really fun. And, catch you guys later in the old Discord.